Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live with me, Mike Avery, here in my home office, my home studio. And real glad to have you along with us. Oh, sorry about that music. It jumped out kind of fast. How was your day? Did you have a good one? Did you get a chance to get out and do anything fun today? Or were you at work? The only time I saw the outside today was coming from my house to the studio and back home. The rest of the time I was working. Although, you know, if you really truly love what you're doing like I am, like I do, how can you call it work, right? Anyway, so glad to have you along with us. Let's see who we've got with us this evening. We've got John Callison. John, be ready. I'm going to do a buzzer tonight. I don't think I can break that record, which was 40 seconds? Cliff, always a pleasure. Randy, Patrick, Johnny Bowler. Look at this, Johnny. See what this is, Johnny? This is my Johnny Bowler mug. There are others like it, very few, but this one is mine. I bet everybody else is jealous now, aren't you? Hey, Craig, how you doing, buddy? Johnny, thanks for your generosity on our Trinity dinner. Craig, thanks for your generosity as well. Good evening, Nick. How are you? Hello, Brandon. David. Jen, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Michelle, how are you? Michelle, it was nice to see you at our Trinity dinner. I'm glad you had a good day, Tom. We had a productive day today too, didn't we, Emil? I'll come back to that, Emil, but we had a very productive day and a little bit surprising, but it was great. Jerry, how are you? You missed this morning? That's all right. You're forgiven. What'd you get, Mike? He just bought a new deer/bear rifle. What'd you get, Mike? Hey, John. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Had the AC on at work today. How warm was it up there, Johnny? Good evening, Robert. How are you? Heard the frogs today. Excellent. You love that mug? Hey, Tony. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Look forward to getting out in that skinny water side by side with you, buddy. On your way home, John, have a good evening. Steelheader running the White River. Good evening, Paul. Bernie. Jen, here's something to look forward to, Jen. Emil Rousseau of the Forward Corporation, Lumberjack Restaurant, was talking about what a productive day we had. Emil texted me at 11:45-ish, which is just a few minutes before I bring Dixie Dave on in the segment as we record the show. Emil shot me a text, random, out of the blue. He said, hey, do you think Dixie Dave might be interested in being a guest chef at our Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack on the 20th? I said, I bet he will. I said, do you mind if I ask him? Do you mind if I surprise him? Do you mind if I spring it to him on the air? He said, no, go ahead. Long story short, Dave was absolutely thrilled to be asked. And he said he is more than happy to be a guest chef on our Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch 2 weeks from tonight. How cool is that? Emil, that was a genius move. Genius move. You're a smart man, buddy. So if you want to join us 2 weeks from tonight, enjoy some of that wonderful Lumberjack food and maybe enjoy some Dixie Dave food as well, call for reservations. Don't call right now. Call tomorrow morning. 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892 for reservations. Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest will join us. I've asked the guys from Wreck Broadheads again. I asked Bob Ransom of Primal. Don't know if he can make it. I asked Paul Phillips, Extreme Long Range Shooter. I think he's going to make it. I threw an offer out to the folks at Brenton, and then we will have somebody from MUCC there as well. So I'll be honest, I got kind of a late start on this Wednesday Night Live because I was tied up with the Trinity dinner until this weekend. Well, now it's time to start looking and working on Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack, the 20th, 2 weeks from tonight. 989-343-0892 for reservations. Dixie Dave is going to be our guest chef. Emil, you are a genius, buddy. Charles walked the woods today. Checked out a rip for steelhead. Snowshoe Hare. It was a good day in the UP. Outstanding. You got a 350 legend, Johnny. I thought you got the 22 Golden Boy. Did you trade it for a 350? Uncle Johnny's live from the cabin in Linwood. They charging you $4 for a sample beer again, Johnny? Mickey, how are you? 41.4. Are you sure, John? I feel like it was 43. And a Henry Golden Boy. Did you win 2 guns that night, Johnny? I don't remember that. It was a busy night for me, as you know. Well, Jerry, I'm blessed to have you along with us. Thank you very much. Craig Plowman says, good evening, Uncle John. It was great to meet you. Mike got a Browning 300 Win Mag. That will knock down a deer or a bear or an elk or a moose or anything else. Yeah, I've been hearing the Red Wing Blackbirds, I think, for about a week now. Brian, happy hump day right back at you. Hello, Brent. Good evening. Ed, nice to see you at the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner as well. Jim says he likes my bear mug. Look what I have. This is my, where is it? My Bowler County Bear Guide mug. The cool thing about this is I can use it as a coffee mug right now, or a Crystal Light and Maker's Mark jug. I can screw the top off. I can slip another rubber ring around it and becomes a koozie. So Johnny is selling these for $150 a piece. So if you want to pay for one of these, $150, private message Johnny. He's on here right now. James says he got his ham from last week. Can't wait to eat it on Easter. It'll be outstanding. We are going to give away a Michigan brand ham tonight. Kevin, how are you? Dan, good evening. That's what killed your bear this past fall. Good evening, Hooked Up Sport Fishing. Hey, I think you made a comment. Hey, Pete Jones. Is this the Pete Jones from White River, Ontario, Canada? The guy who introduced me to White River? The guy who introduced me to bear hunting in White River? The guy who introduced me to wolf hunting in White River? The Pete Jones, formerly of Superior Bear Outfitters. Nice to have you along with us, Pete. Pete's one of the good guys, honestly. Just a real nice guy, real avid outdoorsman, great family guy. And he and his mom and dad and his friends are the ones who introduced me to White River, an area that I have absolutely fallen in love with. Speaking of White River, Rob Sador checking in from White River. Randy Murray, how are you this evening? Hey, Randy, did you see the picture of that 12-pound, 9-ounce, 12.9 pound fish from the Saginaw River, 32 inches? That's one of the biggest fish I've seen come out of that river in years. Tim checking in from South Florida. Rub it in. Tommy, how are you, buddy? Tom's got his reservations for Wednesday Night Live. Can't wait. Jeff, good evening. I don't know, Jen. Emil maybe can help us out. Jen says, yes, love it. So wonderful that Dave will be cooking. Possible shrimp scampi. Sure do miss his. So, Art, stand by. I got something for you. So, Emil, help me out. I'm sure Dave is going to be helping your people. Is he going to have one signature dish? Tell me the details, or have you worked them out? Art Lewis, congrats on a great evening for Trinity Monitor. You're at Dave's table on the 20th. Well, guess what, Dave? Or guess what, Art? Dave is going to be the guest chef at our Wednesday Night Live on the 20th. Emil Rousseau from the Lumberjack threw that out to me about 5 minutes before I got Dave on the air today. I asked Dave and he was ecstatic. Doug Ward, good evening, buddy. How are you? He says a great Trinity event, and thanks partly and thanks to you, Doug, for donating a trip. I appreciate your generosity, and thanks for your nice comments. We work hard. We have a good group of people at Trinity, and I think God has blessed the event, and I think that's obvious. Lee, good evening. How are you? John, good show with Jays. I'm not interested in a suppressor, but I have nothing against them. Why does it take so much time? Because you got to go through the feds to get it. And the feds don't want us to have suppressors. And the feds don't want us to have guns. Evening, Michael. How are you? Robert, thanks for joining us. Bernie, the woman you referenced this morning about the gruesome slaughtering of coyotes probably thinks abortion is fine. Oh, I don't have my glasses on. Here's what Bernie's talking about. This was a letter to the editor in the Detroit Free Press. Remember the Detroit Free Press? It was printed on paper and they would deliver it to your house. And then when you were done, you put it in the bottom of the dog cage. A letter to the editor by Lauren. In part, she says, Michigan's coyotes were already being ruthlessly hounded, baited, snared, trapped, lured by electronic devices that mimic the sound of pups in distress, and gunned down in gruesome killing contests throughout much of the year. So obviously she's an anti-hunter. She's not a non-hunter. She's an anti-hunter. But I read this because I want you to remember and be aware that there is a certain percentage of our population who thinks what we are doing is vile and evil. So as you are going about your activities, as you are interacting with non-hunters, as you are posting things on social media, please keep this kind of thing in mind. Jeff, good evening. How are you? Jerry Ward, Mike, is the auction able to be bid online, and how about shipping? It's done, Jerry. It was last week, but thank you. Jake says, sup, boys? My buddy's wife let me pick the legend. Log Timer says 41.4. I think you're wrong. And the Golden Boy was the door prize that I drew. Yes. Doug Ward says, great to meet you, Johnny B. Johnny B is just an absolute legend, isn't he? Brent says, nice bike, Ross. Art Lewis from WSGW, a member of the Broadcasting Hall of Fame, won 2 guns that night. In fact, he won the first gun of the evening. It was an FM 509C and an M&P Shield Plus Performance with a red dot. Beautiful guns. And Art, I haven't even checked with the committee yet, but I feel comfortable in saying, and I don't think they'll shoot me down, that you can already plan on you being the guest of honor next year at our Trinity event. I might get some grief for jumping the gun and saying that online without verifying it, but I think it'll be okay. Hey, Gene, good evening. How are you? Because you know why, Art? Because the people at Trinity appreciate your support and your exposure and your publicity and your nice comments about our event. Timberdoodle. Beautiful spring evening. Mike gets $75. What do I get $75 for? Well, it's not the mug, because the mug is $150. Johnny will take orders for this mug. Send him a check or PayPal for $150, and he'll take care of it. Hello, Steve. It is what, Pete? Ed says, I thought you only get a mug if Johnny lets your buddy shoot your bear. Ed Bolanowski, you are now banned from Facebook once again. It is, Corey. How'd you do on the river today? That was a huge fish, wasn't it? Hey, David's with us. David, Johnny's brother, doesn't even have one of these. Okay, here's how it's going to run. Dave will run 2 specials that night. Do you know what they are yet, Emil? Hello, Brent. Brent from BAS Custom Rods was a vendor at our event that night. Always great to see you. Thanks for your generosity, Brent. Jake says, get after it, Stephen Glover. We spoke about that, but think he would love suggestions. All right, folks, here's your chance. Jen Binge, you made a suggestion. What would you like to see Dixie Dave cook at the Lumberjack on our Wednesday Night Live? So, yeah, Art, looks like you'll be keeping Terry company. Bet you are. Ashley said food was awesome Saturday. Thank you, Ashley. Hey, Mike, good evening, buddy. How are you? Kevin Hanna said he started cleaning up the golf course today. That golf course being the West Branch Country Club, where we are having the first annual Avery Outdoors golf outing on Monday, July 29th. Too early to sign up. We are having a meeting on this before the Wednesday Night Live on the 20th. Too early to sign up, but put it on your calendar. Feds and suppressors. Hey, Brandon, how you doing, buddy? How's the fishing? Good evening, Paul. Paul, I was just talking about you, and I said that I threw out the invitation for you to join us at the Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack. Just found out that Dixie Dave will be joining us too. In fact, he's going to be a guest chef and will make two of his special dinners along with the great food that the folks at the Lumberjack make. Paul, have you decided if you're going to be able to make it or not? Love to see you there. Randy says, I'm fishing with your buddy, Captain Buddy Mark from Real Fishing next week. Mark Pananzak. His last name is just like Smith, only with more letters. Yep, 12, 9, and 32. It is different from a pistol purchase, yes. Mike's still out in Arizona. At least weekly, a post on Facebook about a coyote on a street carrying a dog or cat in its mouth. Because there's no hunting. Jerry, good evening. How are you? Johnny. Doug is bringing his dad up trout fishing. Johnny, was it Doug Ward? I didn't realize that. Was it Doug Ward who got your fishing trip? How cool is that? Hey, Jim, good evening. How are you? Patrick, good evening. Dean, as long as you live so long. All right, Jen, go do your chores. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Excellent. Get rid of the coyotes. The dinner was great, Brent says. Good evening, Tracy. How are you? Man, I got to catch up on comments here. Orlando with the family. Corey. Tournament this weekend. David. Yeah, some brother, eh? Greg says shrimp. Tommy says walleye. Michelle says shrimp. Captain Pananzak right there. Enjoyed the table at the fundraiser. All great people. Mark, I hear you're fishing with Randy Iamurray next week. Randy's another fellow old guy. It was nice to have you there, Mark, and your family. Appreciate your generosity for our Trinity Monitor event. And it was really, really nice that you showed up there. It was a nice surprise to me. So thank you. FSU women dogs to win the semis. Art says he'd like to see Dave make shrimp scampi and a blueberry walleye. I don't know, Kevin. I'd love to have you there. I am a participant, not the guy who's putting it on. But I'd love to have you there. Chris checking in from Kansas. Oh my gosh, let me catch up. Duck. Excellent. Paul should be able to make it. That'll be nice. Good evening, Joe. How are you? Real good in the river if you grind it out. We need more rain, then we get this things moving. Seems to stop around noon, so do the fish. Your brother's busting your chops, Johnny. Mike, Matt Shock, appreciate your generosity. Sorry you couldn't join us, but thanks for the predator hunting trip. Well, it was Scott Hand and his buddy. Hold on, Johnny. The fishing trip was a live auction. How did Scott Hand get in on the live auction? Killer Food Plots, Rich Krazan, how are you doing, buddy? Rich said they cannot make it this time. We will miss you. If you want to send up some products to give away, we will keep you involved. We'll keep your name out there. Scott Hand doesn't have any buddies because he's so grumpy. Then you guys should get along. Justin, how you doing, bud? Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. I'm so sorry, Doug. Nope. Didn't get Johnny's brookie trip. I talked with him later about it. Was going to be a surprise for Pops, but he's tuned in here and now it's blown. I am so sorry. Scott says, not me. I am so sorry, Doug. I was listening to the radio show last week during the segment with Jimmy G. Gretzinger, the segment after the interview. You mentioned Morton F. and Jimmy being past hosts of the show. You had a hesitation between Morton and Jimmy. I thought you were going to mention Fred, but you didn't. We're just wondering if you and Fred didn't see eye to eye. No, I had no problem with Fred. Not at all. I listen, I respect him because he got sued for $9 million and was able to stay in business. Evening, Ace. How are you? Ed says shrimp scampi, blueberry walleye. There's Nick right there. Okay. So since Nick Grillo is on right now, you know what that means? It means that we're going to give away another ham for the holidays. This one, of course, is a ham for Lent. You know how this works, but I'm going to remind you. If you have won a Michigan brand ham in the last year, please don't enter now. If you are going to, and please in your comments, don't say I'm going to give my ham to a needy family, because that is obviously a very honorable thing to do. But if you make that comment, it's real hard for Nick to ignore. So in just a second, I'm going to start the timer and you will have 2 minutes, right, to make your comments on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham. The more clever, the better. And the contest starts right now. Okay. Contest is on right now. Why do you want to win a Michigan brand ham? Ham for the holidays. Absolutely. Hello, Tyler. How are you? Joe. It was a good event. Jim says, thanks, Doug. That's Pops right there. It's a great surprise. Sorry about that, guys. So what do we got here? Corey says he needs a ham for his ma'am. Please, please, please. Amy, I'd love to beat the Hassel Boys and win the Michigan brand ham. Patrick, I want one, the best ham in Michigan. John Crave says, hey, it's slick. Try for a ham to feed the fam on a holiday for our Lord. We're blessed to be on board. Not bad, not bad. Ain't that the truth? Kevin says it makes him golf better. Paul Phillips says, never had a ham, but my daughter loves him and love to have a daddy-daughter ham dinner. So I can feed your brother so you don't have to give him a cup. Ham, 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 best damn ham. I'd love to gather my family around a Michigan brand ham because coyote doesn't taste very good. Never had one, but love to give it a try. 1 minute. 1 minute on your comments why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for Easter. MichiganBrand.net, MichiganBrand.net. Can't get out fishing, so we'll need a ham to eat for dinner. Art says, I would love a ham. Can I make it a kosher? Ham over turkey any day. I want to win a ham so I can feed. See, that's one of those comments that's, it's nice, but there's nothing better than a Michigan brand ham. My wife is tired of eating venison, and I want to treat her to a nice dinner, such as a Michigan brand ham, so we don't have to cook or clean up. Hi, hon. Did you notice the lights went off? Craig says, all I want for Easter is a mug and a ham. You're not going to get a mug, but you might get a ham. 30 seconds on your comments. 30 seconds. Oh, Western UP. I'll tell you how to find Michigan brand hams. Kids are home from college for spring break. Justin says, hey, Nick, the kids and wife would love to try Michigan brand ham. Would eyeball them, would love to give it a try. 15 seconds on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham. Nope, not yet. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. That was not bad. Justin Hess is tonight's winner. 41. Nope, don't give me that 41. Ace says 47. John, what was it? John, do not do that to me. You're saying it's just shy of a record. That's baloney. I think that was a record. What do you? No way, John. Jeez, I could have done it. I could have been a contender. I could have held out one more second and done it. I was right there. I was right there. Man. Justin Hess is tonight's winner, ham dinner. Justin, feel free. I'm so disappointed. I was right there. Justin, feel free to send me your mailing address, your shipping address, or directly to Nick. I was so close. So congrats, Justin. And I was right there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to check, Callison. I'm going to check when I watch the recorded version of this because I think I got it. Okay. So if your name isn't Justin Hess and you didn't win a ham dinner, a ham tonight, you can still get one. They're all over the state. If you want to know where in your part of the state, go to the website michiganbrand.net. That's michiganbrand.net. Use the store locator button, put in your zip code, and it will tell you where the nearest store is. And there's a good chance that you've got one in your neck of the woods, in your part of the state, because they're everywhere. michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net. And see, and Nick Grillo, my friend, my good friend, always a pleasure to have you on. And thank you. Here's something about Nick, too. I got to point this out. Nick Grillo is a friend of mine, and he can fish with me anytime he wants. Absolutely free. But at the Trinity dinner, they bid $1,400. Well, they bid $15, but they got it for $1,400 for a day of walleye fishing with me on the Angler Quest on Saginaw Bay because they wanted to support our event and support Trinity. Nick Grillo, Butch Grillo, Lindsay Grillo, Little Joe Grillo. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Nick, you're a good man. You're one of my good friends. And anything I can do to help you out, I will. michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net. All right, go get back to work, Chris. Is a replay legal? Yeah. It is absolutely legal. Oh, John's backing down now. Here we go. Callison's backing down now. He said it could be human error. Yep. He is a good man, Ace. $1,400 is cheap. Well, somebody asked who's on the show this week. So Cliff did. Hey, Mike, who's on the show this week? Thanks for asking, Cliff. On the show this week, a guy I met at the Trinity dinner for the first time. His name is Stacy Skaggs, and he is a hardcore angler and a hardcore turkey hunter. He's a guide. He guides turkey hunters across the country. He's my first guest this week, and we talk about getting ready for the upcoming turkey hunting season, and I couldn't be more excited. At the end of the hour, Seth Herbst from the Michigan DNR talking about the new commercial guide license for fishing guides and hunting guides. It's $150 for 3 years. You have to have no game law violations in your past, and you have to have first aid training. That's about it. The bar is set pretty low. Pretty low. If you're already a licensed charter captain, you don't have to pay the fee. Like I will get it just because I sometimes take people up fishing in the summertime, trolling in the Saginaw River. So I would need to have it there. But since I'm a licensed charter captain, I just have to present those credentials and I will get the fishing guide license and it won't cost me anything. Then Lance Valentine, or Sir Lancelot, as I call him, in hour number 2, talking about jig fishing for walleye. Justin Tomei of MUCC follows up with more thoughts on the commercial guiding and fishing license. It was MUCC was one of the groups, the primary group that spearheaded this. And then in our third hour, one of the most interesting guys you'll ever hear. His name is John Azoga, and he knows more about white-tailed deer than probably most anybody in the country. You see all these TV shows with these deer experts, Dr. So-and-so and stuff. They got nothing on John Azoga. John Azoga spent 30 years in the Michigan DNR at the Cousineau Research Station in the UP in Shingleton. He did more hands-on research and studying of deer than anybody ever. And he talks about deer hunting in Michigan. He talks about deer management in Michigan. Let me just give you the cliff note. He doesn't like the way we're going in Michigan. He doesn't think the DNR is doing a very good job at all. At all. And of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef Dixie Dave Miner. And we surprised Dave by throwing out the question, do you want to be a special guest chef at the Lumberjack? Doug said he just filled out his application this evening for the guide license on top of his charter credentials. Could run some inland stuff then. Could be fun. Yeah, I'm going to get mine, Doug, just so I can, I'm not a charter captain, right? I got my license just so I can do charity events. But sometime on those events, we go up the river. So, all right. So what else is on my list here? Okay. Again, thank you to everyone. Good. I was hoping he would stick around. Steve Wyndham of MUCC will also be at our Wednesday night live. He's going to be there for a golf a meeting to kind of set the stage for our golf outing. And he's going to stick around for Wednesday night live. That's excellent. Scott Hand of Walleye for Warriors says boat captains can start signing up next Friday, the 15th. Scott, send me a text and remind me, and I will share your post online too. All right. Elmer, how are things in Petoskey this evening? The folks at Walleye for Warriors they're just great people doing a wonderful job. I'm going to be involved in this year's event, just like I was last year. I'm not going to be fishing the event, but I am going to be helping to MC the event, because what do I do better than fish? And that's talk. Scott, there's also going to be an Angler Quest tournament, but I haven't been able to get a date out of Brad yet. He's busy. He's busy putting a new company together. Love my shows, but at least put a coonskin hat on for some hair. Here's the thing, Robert. I have hair. I just shaved it off. I just like the look of a shaved head. Johnny, what'd you say, Johnny? Exactly. Good evening, James. How are you? Doug is asking what the date is. Second weekend in June. It's not Father's Day again. Thank you very much. Okay, so again, thanks to everybody. Several of you are on here tonight who donated and helped out for our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. I don't know what the final number is yet. We don't know what the final number is yet, but I know it was a very successful night, and I know we raised a lot of money. So thank you for that. Scott says, Chris says, hey, I should look good with a big old pirate earring, maybe a shoulder parrot. Yeah, why not? You guys are just jealous. You guys who have hair are just jealous because you don't look as good with you wouldn't look as good with a shaved head as I do. Look at it. It looks pretty good. Oh, that's right. Time changes this weekend. Okay, what else? The Lumberjack. Let's talk about this again, because this snuck up on me because of the Trinity dinner. 2 weeks from tonight, we will be at the Lumberjack restaurant in West Branch. Chef Dixie Dave Miner is a special guest chef. He's going to cook 2 of his signature recipes, and the rest of the food will be provided by the very, very capable and excellent staff at the Lumberjack. I did not go to Grayling for Fred Bear's birthday. The event is 2 weeks from tonight. The live show starts at 7 o'clock, of course. I would encourage you to get your reservations at 5 or 5:30. Call for reservations, 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892. If nobody answers, wait Let it ring, 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 ring until the machine picks up. Although I realize they're not. Let's not. I'm hoping we don't put any overflow in the bar, because the folks who were sitting in the bar last time, Emil said they didn't feel like they were part of things. So, my recommendation: Walleye for Warriors is June 1st and 2nd. I don't think so, Craig. I think it's after that, isn't it? I think it's the weekend after that. My suggestion, Emil, and I should probably talk to you about this off air, but I'd like to see us just limit it to the dining room. But that's just me. It's your facility. So you have the ultimate say on that, of course. Chris says, even without the earring, it's a good evening. 989-343-0892 for reservations. It doesn't cost you anything to show up, but you are going to have to buy a meal. I'm not buying your dinner. Emil's not buying your dinner. 989-343-0892. June 8th the 9th. June 8th the 9th. June 8th the 9th. June 8th. 6, 8, and 9. 6, 8, and 9. 6, 8, and 9 for Walleye for Warriors. Boat captains can sign up the 15th of this month. June 8th and 9th at the Linwood Beach Marina, the beautiful Linwood Beach Marina on Saginaw Bay. Scott just sent me a text. Scott says that I won't read it out loud here. Okay, I will, Scott. I'll call you as soon as I get done here. Tim says, I'll just have a salad. No, you won't. Okay, so did I make it clear that the Lumberjack on the 20th, 989-343-0892? I figure if I say it enough times, I don't have to say it down slow. Okay, I'm going to say it slow for Art, although he already has his reservation, I think. 9, 8, 9, 3, 4, 3, 0, 8, 9, 2. Again, 9, 8, 9, 3, 4, 3, 0, 8, 9, 2. I bet you can come and clean fish. Does Dixie Dave have a coyote recipe? You know what? Dave will cook up anything. Emil says, hard to say no. We'll just have to cozy up. All right. Tom says, thanks, Art. I was thinking the same thing. 989. That's a given, right? 989, 343. Art says, nice. Nice. He's like, nice, Avery. You're a big dummy. 989-343-0892, 343-0892. And I will never achieve the level that Art Lewis has. Seriously. A member of the Michigan Broadcasting Hall of Fame. You're the man, Art. Heard a Tom holler this morning. I've heard him gobble. Iguanas in Florida. I actually hear iguanas are pretty good. What else? You can get your new fishing license for 2024 if you want. You don't have to till the end of the month, but you can get it right now. No, it doesn't, Art. You're not old. You're older than I am, but you're not old. My thoughts on license prices. For $26, you can buy an all-species fishing license in Michigan to fish any species on any water every day of the week, every day of the year. $26. And yet people bitch about it. How can you gripe about that? $26. Now, as a senior, I could get it for $11. I don't want it for $11, and I'm actually glad. I see when I got my licenses, the DNR actually charged me $26 instead of $11. Because let me tell you something. I don't think seniors should get a discount on prices. I don't want a senior discount. If something is worth X amount of money to somebody who is 40 years old, then it's worth the same amount of money to somebody who is 65 or 70 years old. I don't think seniors should get a discount. I don't think I should get a discount. I don't want a discount. Pay the price of what it's worth. The senior discount thing doesn't fly with me. I don't want a senior discount. Where are we at? Tom says the best $26 he spends every year. No issue with the price. What type of broadheads? I'm going to use a Rec. I'm going to use the Rec Expandable, and I might use the new one that's the bigger cut, but it'll definitely be a Rec I know people gripe about it. Coyote is great. Some people are just cheap. They are. They are. I a senior discount just rubs me the wrong way. Uh-oh. The throat's getting dry. Look at that. You are jealous right now. Admit it. You are jealous. Johnny is selling them. What'd you say, Johnny? 140 bucks? Jim says maybe it's because we paid in for the last 50 or 60 years. Absolutely. Absolutely. But does that mean you should get a break now? I mean, I'm just talking for me, right? And it's not outdoor related. I just don't like the concept of a senior discount. If something is worth X amount of money to a 40-year-old, it's worth the same amount of money to somebody who's 60 years old, 65, 70. Scott says, have you been to McDonald's lately? Take the senior discount. I'm not going to take the senior discount. I don't ask for it. I don't want it. Doug makes a good point. I think senior discount on hunting license is good. Pops has paid property taxes on his home for 60 years. Just my personal thought. I don't like a senior discount. I should be happy that I made it long enough to get a senior discount, but I don't like the concept. What else is on my list here? Art says, don't call the lumberjack today. They're closed Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's the thing, Art. You let it ring. Emil, you're on here right now. Even if you call right now, you let it ring, and you got to let it ring and ring and ring and ring, and eventually it'll pick up, and then you can leave them a message. Unless something's changed, Emil, help me out here. Art Lewis is saying, don't call the lumberjack today. They're closed Tuesday and Wednesday. I know they're closed, and I know people have had a hard time, but that's because they don't let it ring long enough. Emil, are you still on here? Is that still the case? Let it ring, 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 ring. Yeah, we don't get a discount on our senior discount on our taxes. Emil says the answering machine is back on track. So, Art, if you call, let it ring. 989. No, Art. No. Art, no. You got the answering machine. Don't call tomorrow. Call 989-343-0892 and leave a message. Give your name, the number of people in your party, and a phone number so they can get in touch with you. No. Thank you, Art, for bringing that up. Yeah, you're not necessarily going to get an answer. 989-343-0892. Let it ring and leave a message on the machine. Your name, the number in your party, and the phone number. And then Emil says they will call you back to confirm. Tough to admit you made it to senior, but here you are like a rock star. It's not tough for me to admit. I never thought I would be, I never thought I'd live this long. When I was 30, I thought I'd be dead by now, but also call on the 18th to confirm everybody. Yeah. Well, if it motivates a senior to keep involved in the outdoors, then I'm all for it. If that's the case, I am too, Tom. If somebody is so casual about their hunting and fishing activities that they're going to let a few bucks make the difference of whether they get a license or not, absolutely. Then give that person a discount. If they are so casual about wanting to hunt or fish that the difference between $11 and $26 is going to make a difference, then yes, we should give that person all the help we can. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would just say if that's the case, they're not that serious. Oh, let's see here. Let me check something. And these are just my thoughts, right? As they always are. Your mileage may vary. You know what that means? It means it's time to replace the crystal light in here with something else. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it. Doug says, I'm good for 26. Best entertainment value in the world. It is. It's the best $26 you will ever spend. I bought licenses that I didn't use many times for deer hunting. Absolutely. John, I'm going to go back and check your times right now. Do I think it's time to lower the limits on Saginaw Bay and the river? Absolutely not. And I base this on a conversation I had with the head of the DNR Fisheries Division on the radio show. He said, nope, don't worry about it. Unless commercial fishermen go after the Saginaw Bay walleye, you recreational anglers are not going to hurt it with a 13-inch limit and 8 fish. So no, I don't think it's time at all. Hey, Mitchell, just in time to leave. Thank you, Art. I appreciate that. All right, my friends. My name is Mike Avery. Website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Email address, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors. Where'd it go? .com. What happened? Oh, man. It ruined my mojo. All right, I got to go out without any music tonight. Have a good night, my friends. The 20th, Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack, 989-343-0892. Call and leave a message on the answering machine. I don't know where the music went, but have a good night, my friends.